right, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So make sure to hit that subscribe button.
And turn on post notifications.
So you don't miss out on all this great content of ours.
That's right.
So what are we going to listen to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to Human Nature by Michael Jackson.
Now, we've heard this song so many times before. It's one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs, if not my favorite Michael Jackson song. Of course, written by Steve Porcaro from Toto.
But we'll get into that later.
Now, if you're new to the channel, what we do here on this channel is we listen to the whole track through without pausing, and then we talk about it afterwards, go into depth with the analysis of it. But feel free to move and sway along with us as we're listening to the song.
Before we move on to listening, as we all normally do, we'd like to mention that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky,
on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Human Nature by Michael Jackson.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? Reaching out, touch a stranger. Electric eyes are everywhere. See that girl, she knows I'm watching. She likes the way I stare. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? I like living this way. I like loving this way. Looking out across the morning, the city's heart begins to beat. Reaching out, I
Very cool
Ooh,
song.
I love the way it ends.
The way it ends, it's like this minor kind of sound, you know?
Right. You know, this has a kind of a quiet storm kind of sound quality to it, you know?
It's so good. There's so many things going on. I was pointing out in the beginning to Max, I don't know if you heard, there are these little digital sounds.
they're like, it sounds like they're bells, actually.
No,
It's very, very, very soft in the background.
To me, it sounded like little, like sine waves or something.
No,
that.
it sounded like I was listening closer, and they were. I think they were bells.
I don't think you're right about
They
that.
could have been digital bells,
Maybe.
but not only that. But there was also this one point. There was a synth that was kind of in the center around there. That was
Slowly faded in.
It was very soft, and it
almost sounded like
you,
some kind of synthetic oboe or something like that, you know?
maybe, but it's kind of cool to catch all these things when you're listening to headphones, and it just sort of adds to the overall atmosphere. And you might not catch it if you're listening to the radio, but it adds to the whole ambiance of it.
There's different.
The whole. It's almost like
spectrum.
the sum is greater than
The individual parts.
It's greater than the sum of its individual part. Wait, what is it again? What is the saying again? The sum is greater than
Its individual parts.
No, it's the
okay.
total is greater. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Sure.
In other words, all these little parts together create something that is just going to be. It's when it's all together. It's just you may, as I said before, you might not catch it all, but it's just adding something there that's going to add to the overall sound of it. On a subconscious level, that it's just it evokes something, or it brings something out in the song.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these different vocal lines going on too that are kind of oscillating back and forth that Michael Jackson is providing, and that's really cool. There's also something I didn't even notice until
there's delays that are kind of going back.
But
and
2/3 of the way through, I was like, "Oh, there's a shaker going on the whole time," which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's a.
See, I didn't even notice that, but it's
there's all these
probably
things going
there.
on. Right.
I'm feeling it internally,
Sure, exactly.
or on a subconscious level.
Well, it's interesting because I was noticing all these other voices and sound effects that I was like, oh, I should be paying attention to the rhythm section a little bit right now. Mm-hmm. And I was listening for the bass and the drums, and when I was trying to listen for that, I was noticing this shaker, which is cool. Again, as I mentioned before, this is written by Steve Porcaro of the Porcaro Brothers, the famous brothers from the band Toto. And I believe Steve Lukather, who is also in Toto, he was playing on this song too. A lot of the members of Toto were playing on the Thriller album. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Quincy Jones had charged David Paich, who was one of the keyboardists of Toto, to write a song for the album. And he had done a few demos on some kind of tape, and Steve Porcaro separately was he wanted to write a song for the album or something like that, but he wasn't charged by Quincy Jones to do it. And so he kind of did his own, he was doing his own thing. And he took the tape that David Paich was recording on, and Steve Porcaro came up with this song, and it was on the other side of the tape reel. And so when Quincy Jones was listening to David Paich's demos, he was listening through and he wasn't too impressed with any of them. But then the tape kept going after it ended the side A, and it turned over automatically. And on the other side, he heard this demo by Steve Porcaro, and he's like, or was it? It was Steve Porcaro, I believe, right?
I can double check.
Why don't you double check?
Steve Porcaro and that's interesting.
I
guess John Bettis wrote the lyrics, but he wrote the song the lyrics for "Top of the World."
Okay,
the Carpenter's hit, I guess.
But Steve Porcaro, the tape reel switched over to the other side, and on comes Steve Porcaro's song, and Quincy Jones was like, "Oh, what is that?" And David Paich was like, "I didn't do that." And little did they know that it was Steve Porcaro that made this demo, and Quincy Jones is like, we got to record that song. That's a song for Michael right there. But
And it, you know, you can see, you can hear Michael really getting into the song. I mean, he's just like, I mean, that is classic Michael Jackson singing, but it sounds like he's really into it, you know?
You know,
Like he's
I
really
was
feeling the
watching
song, you know?
a popular music reviewer on YouTube recently, and he was talking about the album Thriller and how he doesn't think it's a perfect 10. And he was pointing, and while I agree with him that I think Bad is an overall better album than Thriller, I mean, this album I would say is a 10 as well. And he was saying that songs like Human Nature made it not a 10. I'm like, are you kidding? Human Nature
crazy? That's
is
like maybe
probably
the best
song of the album, you know, or one of the best at least.
I mean, let's get real. Well, okay, one of the best for sure.
I mean, obviously, some of the others have been played, like Billie Jean and Beat It and Thriller have been played out so much that it's hard to sort of objectively judge those songs at this point because we've heard them so much.
Well, Human Nature's kind of been played out a bit too.
Human Nature I've heard thousands of times, and still, I think it's my favorite song on the album, you know?
Well, it's because it's
tune.
got that Quiet Storm kind of feel.
It's good. It's a great
You
ballad.
know, it's got this, yeah, it's just, you know, I love the ending again, you know, it's got just this, it's in this minor kind of way, you know? I mean, what is that? It's like I guess it's, you know, it's like a delay thing or something like that on whatever they're playing, I guess on a synth or something like that.
Something, I don't know.
Because it gives a, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Something.
Anyway, great song. I think that'll do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Keep tuning in.